the agenda is public input. Is there anyone who needs to be recognized?
Maureen, we would like to be recognized, but I know you have a student here, and she needs to be somewhere to go, so
Oh,
do you
okay.
want to have her first?
Sure.
Hi.
Sure.
I'll be quick. I'm Marina Galato. I'm a junior, executive at large, member at large for the school committee, and the student report. Midterms are next week, Tuesday to Friday, and the half days are Wednesday to Friday. The Music Boosters starts Thursday at 7:15. The middle school night is Wednesday night at 7 o'clock in the gym. This past Saturday was senior districts. They had their concert, and I guess it went really well. There was a volleyball fundraiser night that was Thursday the 7th. For Jared Capola, it was the senior boys versus the varsity volleyball team, and the girls won 3-1. This past Thursday, there was Hive held at the high school, and it stands for Helping Individuals Value Everyone. And we're going to have 4 more meetings this year. It's grouped alphabetically it's not by grade, so through the whole school, and it's like groups of 10 to 12 people with teachers all throughout the school. And the first topic was honesty, and there's going to be different topics of discussion throughout the rest of the year, and it's looking to carry on to next year as well. So it's a new program, and it was really successful for the first meeting, so that was exciting. Fundraising for Maskers starts Friday the 15th, and they're going door to door to fundraise for their spring musical, Pirates of Penzance. The Wilmington North Reading Co-op girls hockey team is having a Fuddruckers night tomorrow at Jordan's Furniture. The indoor track state relays are January 23rd at Reggie Lewis. The high school semi-formal is January 30th. The NHS hours are due Friday, January 22nd for the first semester. 20 hours are due. And then next semester, 10 hours. Mock trial has their first trial January 25th. The Model UN had their first debate on nuclear weapons the 7th of January. The law and sociology classes in the school are going on a field trip February 2nd to the Essex County Correctional Facility, and it's going to coincide with the sociology's crime unit after the midterm. And college applications are due either the 1st or the 15th of January, and some recent acceptances are to UMass, Stonehill, Northeastern, St. Anselm, UVA, and Villanova. And for my student work, I'm doing my finance portfolio for my financial management class. We do a stock market competition with the whole class. There's 2 blocks, and Mr. Sullivan partakes in it as well. And we're split up into groups of 4, and we all have to design a stock portfolio. We're given $100,000, and we can't exceed that amount when we buy our 8 stocks. So my team name is the Ganadores, which is like the winners in Spanish. And our portfolio consists of Amedisys, Caterpillar, Walt Disney, Green Mountain Coffee, Hewlett-Packard, Johnson & Johnson, 3M Company, and Nuance. And Green Mountain actually just had a huge spike in the market with the past update. So everyone that owned Green Market did really well. People that weren't were kind of bummed. But my team is in 4th. We started out in 1st, but we've yet to really buy and sell stocks yet. But it's an ongoing process through May 31st. So whoever wins the competition gets X amount of points tacked onto their final grade. And it's really cool. I'm learning a lot. I'm talking to my parents about the stock market and what individual companies to invest in, because I know companies they invest in are more, but they don't really do individual stocks. They do more mutual funds. So I was like, look into this stock and this stock. My mom was really confused. She was like, how do you know this? So I like how I can definitely apply it to my life after college and take that in.
And I do think investing with play money is a lot easier.
It's not $900,000.
So it gets really fun when you're given $100,000 to invest in. It's really fun.
We're up like $4,000, so I think the winning team is up like 8,000. It's not my block, but the next block. So it's good.
It's a great initiative.
Yeah.
Over the past couple of years, we've had a concerted effort to increase our offerings under business ed.
There's more tonight. We're going to hear about that.
Yes, and there's more that John will have in the program of studies. And certainly hiring teachers such as Mr. Sullivan, who's a second career teacher,
Yeah.
has real life experience in the business world that really helps help you connect
Definitely.
the subject. So.
I know I talked to my mom's in business as well, and she's really impressed with the information I'm presented with. So It shows a lot about the curriculum that is like designed for the programs. And
Well, we're impressed with you.
Thank you.
And all that's going on at the high school. Sounds like a very busy time of year.
And it was stuff with mine, so.
Well,
Thanks.
thank you. Feel free to
Thank
go
you.
on your way.
Thanks, Maureen.
Okay, now we'll move to public input. I have a sense Deanna has something to say, maybe Jane too?
Deanna Kester, and I'm Bridal Way. I've come before you a few times, and you all were great about participating in our focus group on behalf of Stanford Children. My goal tonight is not to strong-arm anyone into anything. As a member and leader of Stanford Children, I find myself as a communicator of information that we're working on, and I do my best in the community to ask for your feedback, whether it's from the principals, the superintendent, school committee, board of selectmen. Share what we know and ask you to consider some of the things that, we're working hard on. Jane and I, along with members of the MLN for Stanford Children, got together last night from all different communities, and it would be a lie if I said that we were all celebrating last night. We're not celebrating because of the Great Education Reform Act of 2009. We weren't celebrating about race to the top. As I mentioned to you before, this is a very difficult, emotional, and controversial issue. I'm not one who's very comfortable with the way the legislative process works and messes up education, so I'm not here as an advocate for the legislative process or any of those things. What I am here to ask you is just for consideration for North Reading for the MOU, and not because there's any sense that there's going to be a tremendous amount of money that comes to North Reading, because we know that that's not true, but for the opportunities it might lend itself with any innovation or reform that comes from or is a benefit of the Race to the Top funding. I realize that 50% of the money comes from Title I, of which North Reading will get not much of any money. There's a 15% limit, I guess, above that we could expect. But it's the other 50% of the money that may come in the form of grants or awards that could be substantial based on the number of communities that do the MOU process. So we have a list of towns that we're certain have done it, and of course a lot of them are big cities, as you would expect. We're waiting to hear about some of the smaller communities. Reading is one that has signed on for sure that we know of. Mansfield, Ashland, Newton, Worcester, Salem, in addition to some of the communities that you would expect. The thing that I feel good about is that SAND and the folks that they are stakeholders with did ask a lot of people for their feedback, and I do know that superintendents, principals, assistant principals, school committees, teachers, and parents were all involved as far as input is concerned. And again, I'm not sitting here as an advocate for all that's been done, but just to ask you to consider if you've gotten feedback from your principals, your assistant principals, and your administrative team as stakeholders, because I do believe that they know best about the future for what North Reading needs. So I appreciate all the work that you're doing. I hope I've said the things that I had wanted to say. Again, I know this is a really difficult issue for you too. And I wish a lot of things could have been done better. What we are hopeful of are two things that mattered most to Stanford Children last night, is that there is some hope that the adequacy study will get its due, because it's been, according to Charlie Murphy, committed to the Education Committee as opposed to legislators who all have a stake in the game of why it never is going to happen. And the other thing is that we're hoping the conference committee does do the right thing as far as the reimbursement for charter school tuition. That's it.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna, well, actually, the teachers is sticking around for the discussion, yes. Hi. Kathy, and Jill, do you want to come up to the table? We're going to move on to our agenda item on Race to the Top. We just have a couple of questions we want to engage with the teachers.
I was really just here to observe and
Okay.
bring back information. We've only done a limited amount of research on it, so
Okay.
unless, Jill, you have anything that you...
Well, you know, the school committee members certainly are on top of this issue, and we have gotten input from every group, and our associates do share the pros and cons of the program. And one of the things we're asked is to consider signing an MOU with the Teachers Association if we move to Grayson. Is that something that our teachers group would be putting forward for signature?
Sorry, Maureen, let us come up.
Yeah.
Sure.
Because it has to be signed by tomorrow, if it's going to be signed.
We spoke very briefly about this at our monthly meeting. And given the limited amount of information that I personally have on it, but based upon what was discussed, excuse me, my understanding is that it would not necessarily be something that we would feel would be particularly beneficial at this time.
Okay, thank you.
And Maureen, if I could just add, just in terms of process, the teacher groups that are signing on, in addition to the MOU, which would be between the school committee and the teachers union and the superintendent, they're also asking those districts to sign first an MOA.
Right.
Yeah, so I know, I mean, the amount of emails we've all got, so, and there are, districts, there was about 10 districts today that had signed, and then several of the charter schools and a couple regionals. That was the last time I was on email. There could be a few more that were couriered to the DESE.
Which to me, in my humble opinion, speaks to the lunacy of this whole thing. We have to have an MOA that we have to sign in order to sign an MOU, so we all think we can get out of something if we don't like it after we sign it. The whole thing, and I have a lot to say on this, and I will say it, it's one of the most reckless things I've ever been asked to do, to sign an agreement that has no details. Here, sign this, we might give you some money, we might ask you this, and you know what? You could do this stuff, and we might pay for all of it, but if we can't, yeah, you'll have to find the money. It's a great program. I can't wait to sign it.
Right. Mel, I've been given, working for the MTA, I've had the opportunity to be at lots of meetings with superintendents, and with teachers. I was at one of the briefings where Mitchell Chester came and, addressed some of the presidents who had release time so that they weren't in front of the children right then. And the great thing, I think, is that although people do feel like hurry up and wait and what's this really going to be, there's been some conversations that need to happen that are and that's the great news. And if we can continue those conversations around, because it's all around helping kids to succeed, and how are we going to use that growth model index to learn from it? How do we inform professional development? How do we close achievement gaps? All the stuff that everybody cares about, and that different people in North Reading already been pushing for us to work on for a long time. That's, I think, the really good news. That at least we've begun that conversation. And I got a phone call. I know you're not supposed to take calls when you're in between meetings, but another local I'm assigned to, they have some quote underperforming schools, and they're hoping to make it work there.
Well, see, this is the interesting thing to me, because we've heard of very few unions signing on. And the commissioner's answer when asked, well, what if the unions don't sign on, has basically been, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. And to me, that's not a collaborative way of doing things. And this whole process is ridiculous. It's strong-arming, it has no details, it's reckless, and it's wrong. That's my opinion, not yours, but that's my opinion.
No, thank you. I certainly, if North Reading were to enter into such a grant, we would have extended the opportunity to meet with the teachers long before this deadline. I understand that the program yields opportunities for collaborative efforts in professional development areas that could translate into student achievement in the classroom.